Hi everybody, it's Lisa Precht from Essential Life Naturals, and I wanted to do a quick video this morning because I'm in a hurry and I'm going to work and I wanted to make supper tonight. And I did a video previously on how to dry fruits and vegetables and things like that and how to use them. And I had some vegetables that were kind of going bad, and not going bad, but they weren't great yet. So I decided that I'd roast them, and a few other things that I dried, and I thought, I'm going to put them all together, make up soup. And I thought, well, I'll share this recipe with you because it's super easy and really healthy, and maybe you'll like to make it too. So if you're like me and you're, trying to feed your family and trying to feed them good things, but you don't have a ton of time, there's no reason in the world that you have to stick, a frozen dinner in or have a pizza every night. That's just silly when you can, throw a dinner together in about 20 minutes. So here it goes. It's really simple. It's just a roasted vegetable beef soup. And so what I did is I had some, you can see here, I had some zucchini, peppers, onion, mushrooms, and so I thought I'd kind of do an Italian type deal. And I had an eggplant, but it really kind of got past the point of even roasting, so I just tossed that. So that would have been really good too. And you can add anything like carrots, you can add celery, you can add cauliflower, broccoli, whatever you want to roast. You can do parsnips, whatever, be creative, and just use up what you have in the fridge. That's the easiest thing to do. So what I did is I cut them all up about the same size. I poured some olive oil and salt and pepper on them, and I also sprinkled on some basil, and I roasted it at 400 for about 20 minutes. And really you could just sit and eat these vegetables right off the pan because they're so good. But I'm not going to. I'm going to put them in my crock pot, and so I'm just going to scoop them up, put them in the crock pot. And again, you can use any vegetables that you have, and you don't have to do this in a crock pot. I'm just doing it in a crock pot because I'm going to be gone most of the day, and then when I come home I'll have a wonderful dinner already made. So how nice is that? Okay, so there we got our vegetables in there. And again, it's not even, I didn't even measure it, just I cut up whatever vegetables I had and put them in the crock pot. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some broth. And you can add chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth. I just had beef handy, so that's what I'm going to add. So I just opened up a broth, and I'm going to use the whole thing. You can even use water, I suppose, if you want to, but you're going to want to cook it longer so you get more of the flavors out of the vegetables. So there you've got your broth in there. And then I'm going to add some other ingredients to it here. I think on one of my last videos, I showed you how to use up some of the leftover herbs and things that you have in your refrigerator and just dry them. And I had a big bundle of kale that was getting a little bit wilty, so I just dehydrated it. And so what you can do is you can actually dehydrate it, and then well, of course you could just put it in your soup as is, but I did the dehydrator, I use the dehydrator because that way I don't have to use it all at once, and I can put it in a little sealed jar and use it for soups or smoothies or whatever I want later. So I really am going to make it into a powder, and I'll show you how to do that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to take some of the kale that I dried, and I'm just going to sprinkle it into my soup, and that's going to add a whole nother level of nutrition to it. And then I've got some dried celery here that I have in a little jar, and I'm going to add some of that in here, and some sun-dried tomatoes, which I dried. And you don't have to use dried vegetables, but I just have them because, again, they were, I had them in the fridge and I wasn't going to use them up for a while, so I just dried them. That way I can use them at my leisure. And I have some broccoli here that I'm going to add, however much you want, just throw it in there. And I've got some Italian parsley that I dried. And again, I'm just going to kind of crumple that up and put that in the soup as well. So far, so good, so easy. And then, I wanted to tell you something funny. For those of you who want to go online and order like bulk herbs and spices and things like that, it's really cheap. It's a really good way to do it. But when I was first experimenting with doing that, I went online and I ordered a whole bunch of things that I needed, and I ordered it by the pound, which I'm going to tell you people, when you order a pound of bay leaves, this is what you get. And I got 4 of these, 4 of them. So I have enough bay leaves to make soup until, you know, kingdom come. So I'm only going to use 2 of these, but they're going to flavor the soup nicely. Anyway, and so anybody who wants bay leaves, please come to my house. I have lots and lots of them. And then I'm going to add baby doll. Sorry, the dog. Then I'm going to add a can of fire roasted tomatoes to this. And I also opened up a jar or a can of beans, and I use Great Northern beans. You can use cannelli beans, or kidney beans, or garbanzo beans, or you don't have to use beans. But I use them because I like it for the protein, and it gives the soup a little bit more depth and flavor. So I'm going to cook this all day on low, and then, oh yeah, a few more spices. Salt and pepper, of course. You're going to add that. And again, it's kind of a dump soup. You just dump in what you have. It's really easy. It takes no time at all. And it's yummy. And then I'm going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper just for a little bit of zing and spice. And then once the soup is all done, I'm going to cook that on low and slow all day. Then when I come home tonight, I will make some pasta. I've just got some gluten-free pasta. You can use regular, you know, pasta, however you want. Or you can use rice or potatoes. And I'm going to use about a cup and cook it. And when it's al dente, I'm going to put it in the pot and stir it in. And we're going to have soup. Cover it with some, you can put croutons on top. Or if you're gluten-free, you could do no croutons or gluten-free croutons or shaved Parmesan, whatever you like. So that's going to be delish. All right, so there you go. That's the soup. There's really no recipe. It's just dump in what you have, add some broth, cook it on low, add some kind of a starch like a rice or potato or pasta, and top it with something that's good and easy. And you'll feed your family for like 2 days, so that's really nice. And then the last thing I want to show you is, all right, I talked a little bit about how to dry leftover herbs and vegetables, but this is a good way to powder those things. So once you've dried them, you can use your kale, your spinach, you know, whatever green leafy vegetables that you have. You can do broccoli. Dry them really well, and then put them in your blender and crumple them in there best you can. It's kind of a little messy. I'm going to take the stem out here because this stem is a little bit too big, and I think it's really going to just gum up my my blender blade, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just pulling the stem off, putting in the leaves that are dry, or any pieces that you think will just kind of grind up easily. And we're going to turn the blender on for just a moment, so it's going to be kind of noisy. That's it. And you know what? I've got this wonderful powder that they sell in the health food stores for like $23 a bottle. And I'm going to just put this in a little jar, and when I make a smoothie, a soup, a casserole, you know, whatever it is that I'm wanting to add some extra nutrition in, I'll just take this out and I'll dump in a scoop of this. And, you know, the thing is, it might turn your smoothie green, but that's actually kind of cool these days. But it doesn't, you don't taste it. It just is good for you. So that's a few easy things that you can do to feed your family well and to make your life healthier. So hope you enjoy. God bless.